The following is proof that there is no such thing as a small trade. And this is a rarity in trade trees. It's a tree that begins and ends with the same two teams. Not to mention, it involves one of the most underratedly interesting players of the past few decades. Let's talk about that time the Ottawa Senators traded Alexei Kovalev to the Pittsburgh Penguins. First, let's do a little history lesson on who Alexei Kovalev was. Hailing from Tolyatti, Russia, he was the 15th overall pick in 1991. That's how far back we're going. Canucks fans will like this one, Penguins fans not so much. The next pick, 16th overall, Marcus Naslund. Naslund was drafted, but that's another trade for another day. So, Kovalev gets drafted in 91, but he spends the next season in Russia. He stays there. In 92-93, he comes over to North America to play in the American Hockey League. Alright, let's see if this guy can handle the North American ice. He played with the Rangers farm team, the Binghamton Rangers, and put up 13 goals and 11 assists in 13 games. No, he looks good. And he only had 8 points in 9 playoff games down there. For most players, you'd say that's really good, but looking at his regular season numbers, you're like, was he trying? He would enter the NHL with the New York Rangers as a 20-goal rookie in 92-93, and then in 93-94, 21 points in 23 Stanley Cup playoff games en route to the New York Rangers, finally, after decades and decades, hoisting the Stanley Cup. And he's had an NHL career with over 1,300 regular season games and 1,000 regular season points. But he's always struck me as a hockey player who hockey players like to talk about. I'll give you an example. For years, it was Sid and Ovi, Sid and Ovi, Sid and Ovi. They were getting all the headlines. But when you asked hockey players who they like to watch, you asked other NHL players, they all said, Pavel Datsyuk. Yeah, Ovechkin's the best goal scorer, Crosby's maybe the best all-around player, but Datsyuk can do things with the puck that others just can't. That's how I remember Alexei Kovalev being talked about. A guy who in interviews, if you asked almost anybody in the National Hockey League, who's the most skilled player you ever played with, anyone who ever played with him would say, oh, Alexei Kovalev, right away. The knock on him was never that he was bad, because Alexei Kovalev was never bad. The main criticism I remember with him is whenever he wants to take over, he's going to. There's no stopping him. Now, fast forward to 2011, wow, this guy was drafted 20 years ago. He slowed down a bit. And after parts of a couple seasons with the Ottawa Senators, Kovalev went back to the Pittsburgh Penguins in a deadline deal. The cost? A measly 6th round pick. In fact, it was a conditional 6th round pick. From NHLTradeTracker.com, it was a 6th round pick if the Penguins went to the 2nd round and Kovalev played in at least half their games. But because the 2011 Penguins did not make it to the 2nd round, the pick actually was only a 7th rounder. Imagine only getting a 7th round pick for Alex Kovalev. Well, the Penguins might be glad that's all they gave up, because with just 1 goal and 1 assist in 7 Stanley Cup playoff games, they did not advance. So, what did the Senators get with that 2011 7th round pick from the Penguins? In the 7th round, with the 204th overall selection in 2011, the Ottawa Senators select Ryan Dzingel. And for any Penguins fan who's watching this right now going, Dzingel, that sucks! Andre Palat was 4 picks later, so it could have been worse. Also, you won cups in 16 and 17. Shut up. Plus, should the Penguins feel bad about giving up a 7th round pick for Kovalev? No, not at all. The Ottawa Senators should be commended for scouting Ryan Dzingel and getting a great player, 204th overall. And Dzingel was a Sen for a long time. Parts of 4 seasons, he played 15 games during their amazing Stanley Cup playoff run in 2017. He had a pair of 20-plus goal seasons. He was a good Ottawa Senator. But as the Senators got bad around him, it was time for him to leave again. Like, literally, when Matt Duchene was traded to the Columbus Blue Jackets, he came and got Dzingel in the same plane. He's like, here, come with me. And so the trade tree continued. On February 23rd, 2019, the Ottawa Senators send Ryan Dzingel and a 2019 7th rounder to the Columbus Blue Jackets for Anthony Duclair, a 2020 2nd rounder, and a 2021 2nd rounder. Now, Ryan Dzingel's tenure in Columbus was brief and not exactly magical. He only had 1 goal and 0 assists in 9 playoff games, but he was part of that Blue Jackets team that took down the Tampa Bay Lightning in a 4-game sweep, which is cool, which is super cool. But 1 goal in 9 playoff games. You know, in retrospect, you know who might have given you more than that is Anthony Duclair! You know, that guy who scored 23 goals and 40 points in 63 games last season. Of course, Anthony Duclair looks like he might be walking away from Ottawa for nothing. At the time I'm shooting this video, we don't know where he's going to end up. I still say he ends up back in Ottawa. I just have a sneaking suspicion. And it depends on your perspective. One, you go, well, it's that Columbus team that beat Tampa. I mean, it was worth it. But then there's, well, I don't think Jarmo Kekalainen was trying to just win the first round. I think he wanted a cup, actually. And 2 seconds plus Anthony Duclair for a guy who gave you 1 goal in 9 games is tough. There could be a little saving grace in there for you Columbus Blue Jackets fans. That 7th round pick you got from the Ottawa Senators, 212th overall in 2019, actually looks pretty good. It's a player by the name of Tyler Angle who played the past 4 seasons with the OHL's Windsor Spitfires. In his draft season, he had 20 goals, 44 points in 58 games, but this past season, 67 points, 29 of them goals in 62 games. That's a decent little jump. You could say, yeah, but he was an overager. I go, yeah, he's a 7th rounder. Like, that's pretty good. A name to keep in mind anyway. Oh, speaking of names to keep in mind, Steve, are you going to tell us who the Sens got with those 2 second-round picks? No, we can't, because the 2021 second rounder that Columbus gave Ottawa has not been used yet because it's not 2021. We can do a lot of things here with trade trees. We cannot time travel. The 2020 second rounder, however, I can tell you what happened to that. Ottawa didn't use it. Well, no, they used it. They just didn't pick anyone with it. Because just recently, the Ottawa Senators sent that 2020 second round pick that they got from the Columbus Blue Jackets, along with Jonathan Gruden, who they selected in the 4th round in 2018, to the Pittsburgh Penguins for Matt Murray. I told you, this tree begins and ends with the Senators making a deal with the Penguins. Now, with these trade trees, I try to never pull a fast one on you. If there's a deal, it's got to be the principal part of the deal that we talk about. For this one, that's absolutely what we get, all the way down. Kovalev was traded to the Penguins straight up for a 7th round pick. That 7th round pick turned into Ryan Dzingel, who was the principal piece in a deal going to the Columbus Blue Jackets. One of the 2 second round picks from that deal, equal value, they're both second round picks, was used in a trade as the primary bait to get Matt Murray, who just signed a contract to be a goaltender for the Ottawa Senators until 2024. Not bad, considering they got him for a trade involving a 7th round pick made in 2011. Now, after all that, I'm not saying the Ottawa Senators got Matt Murray because of Alexei Kovalev, but I am. That is exactly what I'm saying. Yep, I just proved it. Weren't you watching? What, did you scrub to the end of the video? Go back! I mean, more specifically, the Ottawa Senators got Matt Murray because of a crafty bit of drafting and scouting in 2011 and a pretty good trade in 2019. But, nonetheless, they got him. And it all started with a conditional 7th round pick 9 years ago. So, what'd you think of this trade tree? Leave a comment in the comment box down below. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. The trade was Kovalev for Murray. Straight up. Directly.